Silenced. Yuo Tianxian laughed heartily and said, "Ah, Chen Liadi, what kind of expression is that?" Next comes the main event. He clapped his hands. At that moment, the sound of an engine starting came from not far away. Jiangdong had somehow run over. A off-road vehicle drove up. Yuo Tianxian strode forward and opened the trunk of the SUV. But inside, there were nothing but blades and a few firearms. Magnificent beyond compare. Yuo Tianxian said proudly, "Chen Liadi, how is it? I have marked the map of Huibai City. Just follow the route on the map. This car is definitely useful." In this moment of silence, I don't know what to say anymore. Mala. Yuo Tianxian thought the silence was due to overwhelming emotions. Prepared to intensify efforts. She looked toward the crowd and said, "Cao Fangyuan, Cao Zai, come here. Aren't you supposed to apologize to Chen Liadi?" In the crowd, Cao Fangyuan is carrying a cloth bag slung at her waist. The face glimmered slightly as they stepped forward, approached the silence, lowered his head and said, "Chen Ji, I apologize for any offense caused yesterday. Please forgive these. It was the guys who went out last night. Consider this a small token of my apology." Say, Cao Fangyuan opened the bag. It was surprisingly filled with gold boxes. Moreover, it's all a golden box, approximately 20 to 30 grams. Now that we have arrived, the zombies in the apocalypse, they have gradually evolved into a first stage. But in a short time, Cao Fangyuan actually managed to get so much. It goes without saying. Last night's gunfight was intense. Cao Fangyuan's face showed a hint of anxiety. "Chen Ji, that Shaoxi god, in the direction of the New Yellow Group, it has turned into a wasteland. When we brothers returned, went on a trip, that Shu Zishi, a monster like a mountain. It's out now." Chen Mo narrowed his eyes. "Is it out?" Chen Mo nodded. "I understand. Thank you. I will accept the golden box. As for these supplies, and the off-road vehicle, no need for that. On the way to North China, inevitably, it cannot be smooth sailing. The off-road vehicle is ultimately not as agile and convenient as the Qiong Qi. And food. Miracles stay here. Just bring one portion for yourself. With one's own strength, you can find a place to get it anytime." Yuo Tianxian went out. A shiver ran through him. It seems unexpected. A carefully prepared farewell gift, unexpectedly in front of the golden box. So vulnerable. Chen Mo turned to Yuo Tianxian and said, "Yuo Tianxian, this thing called the golden box. Now there is an opportunity. Try to store as much as possible. It will be of great use in the future." Yuo Tianxian is upright. Said with a smile, "Chen Liadi, I definitely understand this. Since yesterday," Chen Mo said, "these golden boxes are useful for the superpowered. Yuo Tianxian specifically, take the remaining gold boxes. All have been settled in a new place." Chen Mo shook his head. I said, "That goes." Glanced at the crowd, came to Yuo Tianxian's side and said in a low voice, "If one day a new entity appeared in Tianhai City, about 1 meter tall, draped in a black robe, the mysterious merchant with an unclear face, make sure to seize the opportunity. Bring a lot of gold boxes to find him. There will be what you need. I'm leaving. Take good care of Kiki. Rain falls." Chen Mo didn't say anything more, but directly towards departing from the city center of Tianhai. Qiong Qi, under the influence of the Tianquan abilities, tattooed onto my skin, to a great extent, strengthened Chen Mo's current physique. Extremely fast, in the blink of an eye, and then disappeared from sight. Yuo Tianxian's heart trembled, looking at Chen Mo, the graceful figure departing. Lost in thought for a moment, a sense of loss lingers. Mysterious merchant. What is that? Yuo Tianxian has done this more than once. Amazed by Chen Mo's foresight. He doesn't understand what this means, but he believes Chen Mo would never deceive himself. At this moment, Jiang Dong beside him couldn't help but sigh. Sigh, Chen Ji is such a remarkable person, truly swift and decisive. Let's go then. Only someone with such formidable strength to survive in this apocalyptic world, like a fish in water. Imagine them, a group of lions. Before departure, everything must be checked thoroughly, fully armed. Yuo Qiansheng nodded in agreement. Yeah, unfortunately, in the end, I'm not the lion of my own. Jiang Dong. Thus, do you really think Chen Ji can kill? Is that a deity? As soon as Sukiyaki God is mentioned, Cao Fang Yuan beside her, Bai Yin's expression changed. It seems like I remembered what are generally considered bad memories. Inside the venue, only she and a few others peered from afar. The joy of the Shaoxi god dare not approach Fanhao Luo Xingchen. Don't worry, we just need to believe in her. The mystery of Chen Liadi, far beyond our imagination. Our lions, the things to do next. That would be a lot, Yuo Tianxing said excitedly. The arrival of silence once again gave her a direction, searching for the person on that list. And Jukun Jinhei, storage gold box. Find the mysterious merchant in the silence. Mysterious merchant. 3 months after the apocalypse. It might have been even earlier. Unlike in the apocalypse, selling resources, the wandering merchant trading for profit. In the apocalypse, an extremely special existence. She seemed to possess a special ability, well, quietly and silently, appearing anywhere. There is no hostility towards humanity. On her, you can exchange for many unimaginable things. Supplies, weapon, information, strength, and chi. It will give you a framework. Due to its mystery, many people speculate the true identity of that mysterious merchant. Could it also be a deity? The reason for helping the lion. It's because of my appearance. Already been that day. The military district personnel came to rescue Uncle Lin. Gave notice. Killed Uncle Lin. This lifetime of mine, it's impossible to be like before the rebirth. Join the 6th Special District, but rather to be in constant conflict. Even a lion can be considered silent, leaving something for oneself, a means to counter the 6th District. In the center of Tianai City, before the campaign against the beast-washing god, Silence plans to get familiar first. The use of Tianquan superpowers, Pachit, Pachai, a few strands of silver light, directly pierced through the front, a body of a zombie. The blood flows like a river. A zombie, startled by the sound, overwhelming, coming from all directions, crawling out from the ruins. In the pitch-black store, pouncing with claws bared. Over a month of purification. There are still zombies lingering in the city center. Longing has already taken flight. It's far from something like a handgun bullet. Easily knocked down. Silence wields a katana. Sweep down. It is as if heads are flying up. Blood flowed like a fountain. Heavenly authority abilities. The power brought by the Qiong Qi tattoo. Let silence feel its own strength, as if it would never run dry. Very excited, filled with strength. After continuously slaying several zombies, silently, he simply set down the katana in his hand, with the purest physical strength. A punch towards the front. Dozens of zombies rushed over. An astonishing scene appeared. On the right fist. Suddenly, the shadow of a poverty-stricken beast's claw appeared. Yes, this strike. Extremely brutal. A long blood vessel cut through, along with half of his body. Intestines, internal organs, all torn apart, surrounded at the front of the road. The zombies fell down one by one. A joyful expression appeared on his silent face. Some things are unimaginable. Looking at my own hands, a gentle wave. It was smashed to pieces. A large rock beside me. HMPH. This is the power of Qiong Qi. Tianquan extraordinary abilities. Not only can we control one type, It allows one to take control of themselves even more. The power of submission. Silence descends in the eyes. Incredible. Tianquin's supernatural powers are lifted. He released Qiong Qi as well. Let them quickly master the power of the second stage, in order to prepare for the upcoming battle with the baptized god. Today's Qiong Qi gained weight. It measures a full circle. The imposing figure is large and majestic. The orange fur on the body become more profound. 4 claws, strong and powerful. Surprisingly, on both sides of its pointed forehead, a small melting horn unexpectedly emerged. Except for this fur, it can no longer be seen at all. Good. A resounding growl echoed. Qiong Qi looked at the zombie in front of him. Speed is extremely fast. With a clap of the hands, easily and effortlessly, deal with those zombies, made into a pile of minced meat. HMPH, the 4 swords of shattered stone, the ground beneath our feet. The deep pit suddenly appeared, even bringing along the golden box in the zombie's brain. All became shattered together. No longer exists. Good. Qiong Qi roared towards the sky. This voice is filled with authority. The zombies surged around like a tide. They were momentarily lost in thought. Same as one. For this group of zombies, possessing great deterrent power, seeing this scene, silently smiled with a grin. It seems that after devouring those golden boxes, you rascal, it has improved quite a bit. This place. We are about to reach the place where the baptismal deity resides. In the silence of my mind, unavoidably I recalled the past. What I saw at the new emperor group. That terrifying scene. Her eyes sparkled. Early days of the apocalypse. The baptized god should currently only have 4 levels of power. The baptized divine body is enormous. Actions are extremely slow and sluggish. Mastering one's own abilities. The power of the heavenly authority's extraordinary ability, Qiong Qi. I want to become a baptized deity. Take it down. Shouldn't be a problem. In this silent moment, my heart is a bit turbulent. Slaughtering the gods. This is my former self before the rebirth. A scene I never dared to imagine. I never expected this day would come. I actually came here alone. Silence feels all around. Unprecedented excitement. Nan said excitedly, "Come on." At the same time, in the Bear Market Villa, Yuo Tianxian was staring at the yellow paper, thinking about something. Suddenly, knock, knock, knock. A knock sounded at the door. "Come in," Yuo Tianxian said. Liu Meng walked in. Together they came. Also coming along were Cao Fangyuan and Jiang Dong. Upon seeing the visitor, Yuo Tianxian couldn't help but feel a bit of a headache. "That little girl is still crying." Liu Meng sighed, said somewhat helplessly, "Boss, there's really no way out. Kiki always cries and makes a fuss. I need to find Chenji. What can I do? I've tried everything. None of it works." Yuo Tianxian pinched Qin Mingsu, taking care of the child. "The problem is he doesn't know either. What is the little girl doing now?" Liu Meng. "It caused quite a commotion for a long time. Now I have fallen asleep again." Yuo Tianxian nodded. "Sigh. This way. Kiki was getting along well with those peers. You go and bring them all over to keep him company. Tell their parents. Who can make Kiki happy? From now on, you will be my bear master. By the way, bring some tasty snacks over. Kids, after all. Just coax him a bit." Liu Meng nodded, left with some reluctance. Yuo Tianxian looked towards Cao Fangyuan on the other side, doubtfully asked, "What are you two doing here again?" Jiang Dong's expression was somewhat serious. He opened his mouth. "Those Lao Yan and the others haven't returned yet." "What?" Yuo Tianxian frowned, spoke up. "They didn't go out together last night." "Have you hunted the Golden River?" "I was wondering before." "Where are they?" At this moment, Cao Fangyuan shook her head, spoke up. "Boss, they went to the west side of downtown. They said to act separately. Let's compare who has hunted more in the Golden River. Yuo Tianxin's brows furrowed even deeper. I had previously sent Cao Fangyuan and others. Go to the city center to hunt for some golden rivers. Return to silence. The place in the city center. But there exists the beast joy god, along with the numerous zombies. It was already fraught with danger. Jiang Dong. Could it be that they encountered the beast joy god? Well, should we send someone to look for them? Yuo Tianxin's eyes flickered. After a moment of contemplation, he said, It should be fine. Where is the beast joy god located in the new Qiong group? They are not going there again. At that moment, suddenly someone rushed in from outside. Her expression was anxious. Rushed in urgently. Loudly said, Boss, it's not good. Lai Fengyan has returned with serious injuries. Yuo Tianxin suddenly stood up from the table. Where are others? Outside the villa area, Yuo Tianxin looked at the person in front of him, covered in blood. Missing an arm. Lai Fengyan. A sudden jolt in the heart. A bad feeling began to arise. He clearly remembered yesterday. Lai Fengyan and Cao Fangyuan set off together. Lai Fengyan's team, but there are at least 10 people here. But right now, only Lai Fengyan returned. Cao Fangyuan's pupils constricted even more. Rushed forward. Lai Fengyan, why are you the only one back? Where are your team members? Lai Fengyan's breath was extremely weak. Lying on the stretcher, his vision was a bit blurry, looking at Yuo Tianxin and Cao Fangyuan along with a few others. When I met Cao Fangyuan, in an instant I became much more awake. He got up and stared intently at Cao Fangyuan. Pupil shoots people, howled like a vengeful spirit. Cao Fangyuan, you bastard, why do you want to deceive us? I killed you. Lai Fengyan's only remaining hand, desperately gripping Cao Fangyuan's collar. With bloodshot eyes, he said, the presence of a group of lions. Suddenly glanced over. Yuo Tianxin also straightened himself up, said, What is going on? Where are the members of your team? Lai Fengyan gave a sorrowful smile. Hoarse voice, Big brother, they are all dead. We met. The head of the Shaoxi god. What? Everyone present. The expression turned pale with shock. Cao Fangyuan's face turned pale. This is impossible. That head of the Shaoxi god. Clearly, it's right in the city center. Xinhuang group, right? Last night's journey. I will take you all. Ming had already avoided that place. Lai Fengyan shouted loudly. Screw you. Damn new Qiong group. We are undercover at the horse market. I saw that monster. What do you mean? Could it be this monster? Will it not go smoothly? Not in the new Qiong group. Cao Fangyuan's breathing is in sync. Loudly said, Impossible. This is absolutely impossible. New Qiong group and undercover horse. It's several kilometers away. When returning, how many people are in our team? They specifically went to Xinhuang group to take a look. Everyone on our team can testify. In just one short night, with the size of that monster, how is it possible to appear in 2 places back and forth? How would I know this? Lai Yunfeng's pupils were filled with bloodshot veins, coughing heavily a few times. Spit out a few mouthfuls of fresh blood. Yuo Tianxin let out a shout. Okay, what on earth is going on? That Shaoxi god. Where are we now? The boss has spoken. 2 people at the same time stopped, continuously narrating everything that happened last night, according to their description. The 2 teams sent out. It all happened at the same time. I saw the god of longevity. Yuo Tianxin frowned tightly. The mood grew increasingly restless. At this moment, Jiang Dong, who had not spoken for a long time, was beside them. Suddenly, Yao Yu said, Vidbutz, you mentioned the Shaoxi god. Is it possible that there is more than one? As soon as these words were spoken, Yuo Tianxin's pupils suddenly contracted, feeling a bit cold all over. Even Cao Fangyuan and Lai Yunfeng Everyone looked over at once. It's broken. Yuo Changsheng's expression changed dramatically. If that's really the case, it seems that Chen Liadi is in danger. Yuo Changsheng, how long has Chen Liadi been gone? Jiang Dan spoke up. It's been about 4 or 5 hours. His grandmother is a bear. Yuo Changsheng's expression was unpredictable. Shouted angrily, Jiang Dan, what bear? Yuo Changsheng immediately spoke up. Jiang Dan, quickly go and gather all the brothers. Prepare your gear. This damn ghost thing. If there were really two heads, that would be troublesome. The other side, in the center of Tian'ai City. This used to be the elite class of Tian'ai City, and the workplace at Bai Ling. Everywhere are tall buildings. Awe-inspiring. And now, those tall and magnificent buildings, everything is destroyed, crashed down suddenly. On the wasteland, a zombie roared at the approaching person. And a pitch-black shadow, leaping up from a crowd of zombies. It was at least 4 to 5 meters high. That turned out to be a creature with only half a head. A second-tier zombie covered in rotting maggots. That zombie moves extremely fast. A foul odor spewed from his mouth. Silence pounced upon me. Good. Chen Mo frowned in silence. With a swipe of the right hand, Fiao's steel ball at her side shot out like a bullet. Just as it was about to hit the center of the second-tier zombie's forehead, the zombie actually tilted its body. The steel ball shot straight through his shoulder. After the zombie evolution, it can also enhance abilities. The zombie in front of me, clearly the speed has greatly improved. But the silence was a bit unexpected. Dan said, so how about this? The master can also use it. Chai in the surrounding ruins. It suddenly began to tremble violently. In an instant, abandoned metal pieces, suddenly facing forward. The zombies are coming home, like a sandwich cookie. Bang, a single sound. The crisp sound of metal striking. The sword in hand sliced down decisively and neatly. The head of that zombie. It rolled down with a thud, looking at the corpses of zombies lying all around, and keep rushing in. It seems like the zombies are endless. Silence spoke up. Almost there. Qiong Qi, be careful. The closer we get to the dwelling of the gods, the nearby zombies become more dangerous. Such a dense quantity. No wonder the lion's mad. Dare not delve deeply into it. The poor Kai beside me let out a low growl in response. Suddenly, a piercing howl echoed from the front. Immediately following that, once again, a piercing sound echoed like a baby's cry. The ground trembles beneath our feet. When I heard this sound, zombies surged in from all directions. Suddenly, everything came to a halt. Unexpectedly and bizarrely turned around and left. A moment of silence. This sound, Hao Er Shu, Shu Sai Shen. Silence furrowed his brow, slightly surprised. Looking at the poor Kai beside him, who was devouring the zombie's brain, he spoke. Qiong Qi, let's go. Silence directly mounted the poor Qiong Qi, and its hind legs slowly crouched down. Then he jumped up, in this chaotic ruin of jagged stones, rushing forward with unmatched agility, behind a collapsed building. When arriving here, the silent pupil suddenly constricted, because the scene before me is truly shocking. Rummel, rummel. The sound of collapsing buildings is incessant. Under this blood-red sky, the sky is filled with dust. Firelight, bird, a dense, wave-like pride of lions. Ahead stood a structure like a giant mountain, a massive creature lying on its side on the ground, over 20 meters high. It looks like a giant baby, fair and delicate skin. My body is full of flab. That monster has no face, no eyes, nose, just a mouth. Qiong Qi. It seems they are all stitched together, like a worm, constantly wriggling, constantly flapping its wings. Every time it crashes down, a pride of lions emit an extremely piercing sound. Xiao Xi Shen, this terrifying sense of oppression. Unavoidably, it brings silence, trembling all over. The impoverished Qiong Qi beside me. Every hair is counting down, continuously baring teeth and howling. Before rebirth, before the arrival of Shu Zai Shen, I have already left Tianhai City. This is still the first time Chen Mo has seen silence. The true appearance of Shaoxi God, in front of the God of longevity. Everything is so insignificant. Silence makes me feel goosebumps all over. They all started to stir. Her eyes sparkled with unparalleled fervor and excitement. This, is it the God of longevity? Sorry, I can't assist with that. Who is the other one? At the God of longevity, in front of this colossal structure, with a strangely shaped head. Looks like a female zombie. The female zombie had unkempt hair. It was stained with countless blood clots. The back and hands were covered in dense forest, like a bone-white dagger, constantly letting out a roar. On her, silence also brings a great sense of danger. Senjai, the silent eyes keep flickering. It feels like a struggle. The female zombie howled to the sky. Thousands of zombies surround us. They all recklessly risk their lives, biting towards Shaoxi Shen. But another slap came down. Like a saw hammer, the earth cracked open, rolling up thousands of waves. Everything around began to shake violently. This familiar voice, let silence suddenly recall. It's her. That day in the large supermarket, there was a Lion King. These two monsters. What is going on? Silence lingered for a moment. This scene. It was something she never anticipated. When a type of zombie advanced to a certain level. Thus, the consciousness of the Lord emerged. The zombie in front of me, challenging the overlord of the Tianhai city, Shaoxishen, a glimmer in the silent eyes. Is it really that difficult? I didn't expect that. Someone actually got there first. The nearby Qiong Qi kept growling softly. Some things weigh heavily on the mind. Silence. Wait a moment. Just right. This is a good opportunity. Let's examine the reality and illusion of this Suji god. The information about Shaoxi Shen. She once glanced roughly, preventing high blood pressure. Kai Lai Wu Yang. The most noteworthy ability. It is the scream of the Shoki deity. The eardrum may shatter. Severe cases will result in immediate death on the spot. Silence and the poor Kai, hidden in this place. That head is challenging the god of longevity, the zombie bride covered in rice. It doesn't seem very good. Countless zombies clustered like tiny black dots, surrounding the towering figure of the Shaoxi god. But their attack, even unable to penetrate the skin of Shaoxi Shen. Lung. A loud noise echoed. Shu Zai Shen slightly shifted his massive body. In an instant, crushed hundreds of zombies surrounding me. The scene was extremely bloody. Just like, it's so easy to crush an ant. The female zombie let out a long laugh, only a leap of several meters high, jumped directly onto the massive body of the Sukiyaki god. Extremely sharp nails, touching the flesh of the Shoki god, climbing rapidly upwards. When reaching the highest point of the wind, the female zombie actually used her double-handed claws. In an instant, it plunged heavily into the massive body of Shaoxi Shen, then slid downwards, leaning on inertia, torn open with two bloody gashes, a gaping wound oozing green blood. This strike. Clearly, it caused the Shoki god pain. The god of longevity emitted a sound like the whisper of the wind, a long, piercing cry of pain. It began to stir violently. Countless broken buildings surround us, crash and collapse. Beneath the constant echo of these screams, the silence stretches for hundreds of meters to that place. Yet it still suffered the impact. A shiver ran through him. I have a splitting headache. The silence shifted its expression. Under the supernatural powers of Tian Quan, it seems that I have heard it clearly myself. What is Shaoxi Shen saying? It hurts so much. It hurts so much. He got injured. The giant arms of Shaoxi Shen began to swing downward continuously. Every time, hundreds of zombies are captured. Put it in your mouth. A chilling, crunching sound emerged. Click, click. It feels like regaining strength. The battle between the zombies and the god of sukiyaki. Thousands of zombies surround us. It only took a moment. Only food remains, no clothing. The female zombie is powerful, constantly inflicting damage on the god of longevity. Once again, a long howl echoed. At this moment, Qiong Qi directly waved his plump and bulky arms, sweeping away the lung-like filaments around, aimed the camera at the female zombie. Hush! A haze shrouds the horizon. The female zombie was covered in scars. All were shattered and flew away, heavily fell beside the silent figure. The bones were all shattered. Even the chest area is sunken in. If it weren't for the Third Order Lion King, I'm afraid it would have been turned into mush with a slap long ago. Qiong Qi let out a low growl, watched over with extreme vigilance. The female zombie covered in the blood of the god of longevity looked up for a moment. When seeing silence, a shiver ran through him. Then a roar erupted. Quickly lowered his head. Escape, escape. Faint and insignificant information, transmitted through the heavenly spring's supernatural abilities. Silence furrowed his brow, watching the female zombie fleeing from this place. Didn't say a word. It is the power of Jianquan. It's still her speaking. She didn't have time to think much. The injured Qiong Qi behind me. It seemed to be in a rage. It began to rage wildly, rumbling. The scene is terrifying. Earth military formation. Rolling stone. Dust. Explosion sound. The silent eyes squinted slightly. Look towards Qiong Qi. We're here. Qiong Qi. Asp. Mastering supernatural powers. Countless iron leaves surged forward. A few steel marbles in the pocket also floated up. Qiong Qi was eager to try. Immediately pounced out. Silence holds the katana. Quickly climbed onto the ruins. Looking at this massive structure in front of me, it comes crawling continuously. A calmness radiated from her face. Is this the destructive power of the Qiong god? Though not comparable to the world-destroying deities from before my rebirth, but in the early days of the apocalypse, it is undoubtedly a presence that brings despair to anyone. The silent right hand waved, controlling the powers of dominance. Countless iron leaves around transformed into steel balls and shot away. A series of explosive sounds echoed in the air. Pachai, Pachu. Now he is. The Master of Powers has already startled Zibai. The power of these steel balls, instantly immersed in the massive body of the Sukiyaki god, deeply embedded in flesh and blood. The size of the Qiong god is truly enormous. These steel balls can't cause any substantial harm at all. It was as dense as a spell, very fast. On the body of Qiong appeared tiny holes. Streams of green blood flowed down from the middle, adding to the damage caused by the previous female zombie. Looks very benevolent. Qiong let out a long sigh in anger. He directly picked up a huge stone and threw it at Chen Mo. After becoming a dual ability user, the silence has greatly strengthened physical fitness. Easily avoided. Rumble, rumble. A loud noise came from behind. Looking at the enormous monster in front of me, even silence cannot be helped. Some feel tricky. Although Qiong is not very mobile, but life is incredibly resilient. That zombie just now, he tore 2 long slashes in it. None can harm his life, not to mention the steel balls. Long, long. Qiong grabbed the ground with both hands, crawling constantly towards the direction of silence. A few little bugs. Challenge yourself time and again. Make him even angrier. E.T. Silence moves forward. When I heard this voice, his expression was calm. Sneered. I want to eat you. Let's give it a try. Objects containing metal float in the air, all turned into liquid, continuously intertwining and surging, gradually formed into an incredibly sharp edge, a metal blade several meters long and wide, dealing with the giant. You must use the giant object. The metal blade continues to refine, sufficient to cause great harm to the god of longevity, mobilizing such a massive power of the dominator. Consumed. It's not just those few small steel balls. That can be compared to, since a tiny steel ball, I can't do anything about you. What about this? Excitement emerged in the silence of the eyes. The right hand slipped, directly urging the metal blade, stabbed towards the god of longevity. Qiong Qi is inherently clumsy. It was impossible to evade. He raised his hand. I want to block with my arm. Pachu, that enormous metal blade, he actually pierced his palm directly. Green blood gushed forth like a spring. A wave of green blood quickly appeared on the ground, this time as if feeling immense pain. The scream of the Qiong god was even sharper and more piercing. This sound wave gradually spreads out. Iron leaves are floating around. In an instant, it turned into a puddle on the ground, and the metallic blade pierced through flesh and blood on that palm. Unexpectedly, liquid began to drip down continuously. Escall. It can not only affect a person's physique, it can even influence one's abilities. At that moment, a roar echoed. Okay. Qiong Qi was directly afraid of climbing up. The plump body of the Qiong god. He slammed down with a heavy paw. The power of strength, the sharpness of the dual claws, easily tore it open. The defense of Qiong Qi. What is most terrifying is, Qiong Qi unexpectedly opened its mouth towards the flesh and blood inside, continuously began to bite. Half a body. They all fell directly into it. Within the body of the Qiong god, the intense pain coming from two places. Let the Qiong god go mad, swaying its body. It felt like an earthquake. Pain. The fat god of longevity has a plump body. A wave of flesh surged, continuously with the other hand, trying to swat away the Qiong Qi from my body. Qiong Qi acts with utmost agility. Every time I can perfectly avoid, silently watching the agonized Qiong god. No wonder even the lion, the such a god that cannot be solved. In the end, he will be killed by Qiong Qi. Inside the lion, most of them are just ordinary people. As soon as the scream of the Shu Zai Shen echoed, even ordinary ability users cannot withstand it, let alone them. But Qiong Qi moves swiftly, such a slow-moving behemoth. There's simply no way to deal with him, even if it's a slow bleed. It can also wear it down to death. Not sure how much time has passed. The god of longevity at this moment, on the fair skin, already scarred and battered, filled with countless wounds. Green bloodstains, frantically slapping the ground and surroundings. Chen Mo's eyes flickered at the sight, began to ponder quietly. Tianquan's supernatural ability. Can we really tame the gods? Silence arrived at a place. On the high mound of debris, try to unleash the power of the heavenly authority. Communicate, looking up at what lies ahead. This huge creature, his expression was indifferent. Qiong Qi, submit to me. It hurts so much. Silence casually walked over. The god of longevity continuously lets out cries of pain, trembling with its bulky body. After hearing the silence and his communication, Qiong Qi straightened up, suddenly paused for a moment. His head had only a mouth. Turned around. Ming has no face. It feels as if it is watching silence. Seems to be in doubt. Why, this bud, being able to converse with oneself. Silent strength, eyes slightly squinted. Submit to me. Otherwise. He let himself be on the giant body of Shoki. The rampaging Qiong Qi came to a halt. Qiong Qi meeting, a leap into the air, spanning several dozen meters away. With a body wrapped in enormous, mysterious fog, come to the side of silence, continuously let out loud roars. Good. He is also communicating with the Qiong god. In an instant, it became quiet. Rao Shichen Mo, at this moment, my heart is filled with unease. My heart is pounding. The giant mountain before us. a deity in the apocalypse, even if the god of longevity, just a statue, not a particularly powerful deity, but to subdue a deity. This is in the apocalypse. It has never happened before. Horrifying events. Xiaoxi Shen has a massive physique. It is undoubtedly a figure that exudes a strong sense of oppression, a terrifying engineering monster. If I can continue to grow, silence leaves no room for doubt. He can easily crush the military district, that unbreakable wall towering several meters high. Now, the god of longevity, although it is a fourth-tier strength, but intelligence, it seems extremely low, not as good as Qiong Qi. In the communication between silence and emptiness, it seems I have just roughly understood the meaning. He slowly wriggled his body, the remaining wasteland crushed by his massive size. His plump, blood-stained right hand. A low bass sound emerged. Seeing the silence, her eyes sparkled. Could it be E.T.? Very soon, silence understood his meaning. Some confusion. Suddenly, the hand that comes slowly, rolling towards its own position, the sound of thunder rumbled. The morning mist rises. A deafening roar erupted. That area, under the terrifying power of the Xiaoxi god, the boulder turned into powder. Not a crumb was left. The god of longevity let out a mocking laugh. Sab sang, sab, saj. Qiong Qi broke through the morning mist, sliding through the air in a long arc. But silence tightly grasped his hair, caught by the same Qiong Qi. Thump! Qiong Qi landed steadily on a pile of ruins. The fierce-looking Jia let out a roar. The silence beside him had a face full of black lines. The face looked extremely unfavorable. He finally understands now. What does this sukiyaki god mean? He wants to eat himself. How ungrateful! The opportunity is yours. Since that's the case, then let's slay the gods. A cold glimmer flashed in the silent eyes. He snorted coldly. Qiong Qi killed him. Qiong Qi immediately dashed out like a falling star. A silent hand waved. The master can use it to the fullest. 20 meters, 25 meters, 30 meters. Suddenly, silver liquid surged out from the surrounding wasteland, coming from all directions, as if it had transformed into a long river, floating in mid-air, silent with a cold expression. These iron metals were forged into an enormous spear, driving the power of dominance with both hands. Heavily towards the front, the massive creature sprang away. Xiaoxi god battles the female zombie, has long suffered significant harm, and this time, silence doesn't intend to leave anything behind. Prepare to kill him on the spot. The spear in an instant, deeply embedded in the corpulent body of the Xiaoxi god. The intense sound of silk whistled through the sky, deafening. Countless green blood sprayed out. It was as if a green storm had poured down between heaven and earth. Qiong Qi climbed all the way up to the urgency of the god of longevity. Layers of fatty meat. The beast's instinct made his eyes glow red, blooming with an indescribable brilliance. Bitten into the layers of thick fat, chunks of flesh are being torn apart. The forepaws are like those of a tiger, tightly gripped in the shabu-shabu meat. No matter how he struggles, unable to escape the bite of Qiong Qi, watching the blood flow endlessly. Xiaoxi Shen is still struggling continuously. Silently, he spoke in a cold voice. Life truly is resilient, consecutively using the Dominator's power to forge such a massive weapon. It also consumed a lot of his energy. The dominion of abilities ultimately reaches the second tier. If it weren't for the fact that I possess dual abilities, the physique is stronger than other ability users of the same rank. I'm afraid I'm already exhausted. The silent eyes glimmer with fierce light. Take a deep breath. Once again, I activated my Dominion ability. I want to see for myself. How much longer can you hold on? At that moment, the ground beneath suddenly shook violently. Dust and mist filled the sky in the distance. It swept in like a sandstorm. Dilapidated high-rise buildings collapsed. Numerous cracks appeared on the ground. Rumbling sound. The silent body sways unsteadily, furrowed his brow. What's wrong again? As he gazed towards the place shrouded in smoke and dust, boom, like being struck by lightning, the silent pupil suddenly constricted. Only see that direction. Unexpectedly, a similar head appeared, a colossal creature exactly like the Qiong god. How is this possible? He doesn't rely on wriggling, but rather rolling due to inertia. And then 2 Qiong gods arrived. A scream was heard at the same time. Countless precarious debris surrounded us, all shattered by these 2 terrifying sound waves. This sound, it quickly spread throughout the entire Tianhai city. At this moment, no matter if you are in a safe place or the survivors in the Tianhai indoor arena fighting against zombies, all turned their gaze towards the city center. One by one, their faces showed immense fear, utterly terrified, and was driving the vehicle over. The mighty lion, hundreds of fully armed members, trembled all over. They covered their ears in pain. But what is that sound? My head is about to explode. Luo Chanshan, the ability user, feeling a bit better. When I heard this sound, he stood at the front of the car, picked up the binoculars, looking towards the city center, watching the sandstorm sweeping in from the other side of Tianhai City, and that huge monster. Pale complexion, incredible road. What on earth is this? It's broken. Get your act together. Keep moving forward. It must be Chenliadi, battling with that beast, the god of joy. Thus, it's not good. The way ahead was blocked by the collapsed high-rise buildings. The vehicle cannot pass. At this moment, a shout came from ahead. Luo Chanshan was startled. A sudden jump. The vehicle beneath my feet instantly collapsed and sunk in. The car was half submerged, leaping several meters high. Arrived at the forefront, when I saw this towering 5 or 6 meters high. Behind the boulder blocking the way, Luo Chanshan let out a low roar. Muscles all over my body are engorged, expanded in an instant. Luo Chanshan's eyes were bloodshot. Among the members of the Lion Club, under the gaze of utter horror, both fists struck out together. Rummel, rummel. Class ordinary system abilities, 100-fold increase. He, a first-tier ability user. Now, the power that can be amplified tenfold. On the other side, silently gazing ahead, the eyes of this beast were barely open. The beast god covered in green blood, and is crawling towards this place. A shocking sandstorm arose. The beast joy god, completely icy cold. The silent voice is a bit hoarse. Isn't it difficult? Why, there will also be a beast god of joy, 2-headed beast of joy. Even in the military district before the rebirth, there has never been any record. The silent eyes flicker continuously. Old see in an instant everything about the beast joy god of Tianhai City. All the memories have been revisited, based on the materials left behind by the military district. The beast god wreaks havoc in Tianhai City. Survivor organization sends out the mighty Luo Chanshan. Dispatch thousands of people. Fully armed expedition. Total annihilation. When the 6th Special District dispatched a team of psychics on the way to Tianhai City, Luo Chanshan and the Qiong Qi have disappeared without a trace. The traces left behind indicate an evacuation. Then came the battle between Qiong Qi and Qiong Qi. Kill and devour it. The superpowered team suffered heavy losses without achieving any results. Qiong Qi becomes the new overlord of Tianhai City. Evacuation. Silence is difficult. Although the beast's strength is at the 4th tier, but they couldn't do anything about their 2nd-tier selves and Qiong Qi, even back then, advanced to the 6th level. The mighty army is also growing. There are so many soldiers. It's impossible to change anything. Silent pupils, one piece. It seems like something came to mind. In the heart, a terrifying possibility suddenly emerged. Will it? At that time, Luo Chanshan and others. I never expected the appearance of a second head, so the losses are heavy. under the inability to compete, ultimately chose to leave Tianai City, and what Qiong Qi devoured. It is precisely this second one. Rumbling, a deafening roar suddenly echoed ahead, the beast of joy rolling in from afar. Between the massive figure and the one before it, they collided heavily together. The collision between two bodies, the fat on their bodies, like waves, one layer after another, the terrifying airflow in the venue. It can even lift a person off the ground. Without giving it much thought, silence, the expression was serious. Let out a loud shout. Qiong Qi, okay. Qiong Qi pounced from the sky toward the moon. Tian Quan can be used. The flying Qiong Qi, in an instant, it transformed into specks of starlight, vanished without a trace. On the silent left arm, a Qiong Qi tattoo suddenly appeared. Jian Kun Yang, the ability to share oneself with Qiong Qi. In a moment of silence, I felt full of energy, light as a feather, extremely agile, with a league. Swiftly before my eyes, this frozen death of the Sukiyaki god opened a gap of 20 to 30 meters. This massive airflow, a whirlwind of countless swept in. Silence formed a wall of metal, block in front of you. Din din. Then the second Shuzishin let out a cry, suddenly opened his mouth, biting down fiercely on the frozen Sukiyaki god. The scene was incredibly shocking. Scorched earth, ruin, a mountain of meat, gnawing on another mountain of flesh. It was merely the airflow stirred by the presence of the Shaoxi god, easily and effortlessly destroyed everything. Behind him, it was a mess. Ruins of Tianhai stone, what it brings. It is the end of the world due to natural disasters. The frozen Suhai god struggles incessantly, let out a scream of unbearable pain. And that second Shaoxi god, his flesh was being torn apart by both hands, tearing off a large piece and swallowing it down. The sound of crunching echoed eerily. Delicious, even silence. Can't help but take a look. It's a bit chilling. Foul-smelling, viscous green blood, immersed in every crack of this ruin. In consciousness, the call of Qiong Qi echoed through the air, silently murmured, I know. During this time, he took out a few first-tier gold boxes. Restore stamina, eyes slightly narrowed. No wonder they are in the military district. After arriving here, the first Shaoxi god was not found. It had long been completely consumed. And this Shoki deity, it seems to look a bit smarter. Better late than never. Just at this moment, with the power of Qiong Qi backing them up, Silence wielding a great sword, rushing forward like a ferocious beast, overcame numerous obstacles, leaped onto its back, on top of the frozen Sukiyaki god. Perhaps in comparison to this, the silent body is indeed too small as an ant. That second Shaoxi god, it seems that no one noticed at all. Silent existence, open your mouth. Once again preparing to take a bite, Silence took the chance to crouch down, jumped directly onto him. He spoke coldly. Please do not touch other people's things. Touch, the sword in hand. In an instant, I plunged into this mountain of flesh. The sovereign can also take action. In the surrounding ruins, countless silver iron leaves surged forth, rushing towards this place, transform into spirals, converging in the katana. With the blessing of Qiong Qi, one can also be the master of oneself. The range that can be influenced, it has expanded to 60 meters, infinitely approaching the third order adept. Silent hands tightly grip the katana, a glimpse revealed in the eyes, a dazzling light that pierces the heart. Behind him, it seems there is a shadow of a poor Kai. Let out a silent roar of support. The master can also utilize it to the fullest. Countless iron leaves rise into the sky, like flowing streams, flowing into the river and sea, engulfed by the sword. The weight of the katana in my hands is constantly becoming heavier, gradually sank deeper and deeper into it. Pulsating green blood oozed out from within. The Sukiyaki god beneath my feet Just feel your own body became increasingly heavy, but still unwilling to give up, wanting to tear it off. The flesh and blood of the ice death Qiong god were devoured. You should know. The corpse of a deity. That's a good thing. And, if I remember correctly, after killing the deity, the legendary mysterious merchant will come to seek me out, exchange for the corpse of the deity. Look at this shameless Qiong god, still roaring with excitement. My own trophies. Are you still eating? This moment, silence truly means they are infuriated. Crimson eyes. The how Dao. You mother of asterisk, 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 I already told you not to eat recklessly. It's someone else's trophy. Hush. From silence, a terrifying aura burst forth. 80 meters, 100 meters. At this moment, all metals within a 100-meter radius congealed into an exceptionally sharp longsword, a full dozen meters long and wide, like hanging in the sky, the sword of Damocles, suddenly towards the god of longevity beneath my feet. Hit on the spine. The sound of extreme pain echoed. The silence upon him, drenched in the bursting green blood. Like a vengeful spirit, rumble. A thunderous roar erupted, shrouded in dense fog. The earth shattered. A sense of weightlessness surged beneath my feet. This heavy metal giant sword, it was terrifying to the extreme. Kill this Sukiyaki god completely, nailed into the collapsed ground. A sinkhole with a depth of 100 meters. Central, a determined killer with disdain for the divine. Let the Qiong god struggle wildly, and there's no way to escape. A scene of devastation and ruins. Smoke and gunfire rise. Witnessing the scene, not a single piece is intact. Beneath this blood-red sky, a massive fog envelops both ends. Dying here, silence did not go to enjoy the satisfaction of killing a deity alone, but just glanced at it. The half-eaten Sukiyaki god, fiercely, facing the god of longevity beneath me, stepped on a few times. I let you eat. Let you eat. The metal giant sword locks onto the spine. It seems to be his lifeline. The one at my feet is extremely weak. The dying shogi. A faint bass sound echoed. Well, spare my life. The head below is pierced by a giant metal sword. The god of Suiki frozen to death. It seems to be calling out. Silence adjusted itself. Eyes slightly squinted. Oh, this is the god of Sukiyaki. Surprisingly, it even begs for mercy. After a moment of silence and contemplation, then squat down. Place the left hand on this side, on the body of the Qiong god. Tianquan can be used. Submit to me. This is the god of longevity, clearly much smarter than the first one. Upon sensing this consciousness, weakly extending both hands, emit a weak, low sound. Weishe, willing. When this thought arrived, in the silence of the left palm, a brilliant purple light burst forth silently on the back of the enormous Sukiyaki god. Stars gradually began to appear, evolved into strands of purple mist, immersed in the silence of the left hand. Move. It feels like something is there, heavily crashing in the mind. Silence suddenly felt a splitting headache. Extreme pain. On his left arm. Suddenly, a bizarre tattoo began to emerge. The tattoo spread upward continuously, arrived at the left chest area, revealing an incredibly strange sense of beauty. Silence gritted its teeth tightly, suppressing this unbearable agony. Tianquan abilities. It really is possible to reclaim the divine, but now it is merely the silence of the second-tier Tianquan ability. When accommodating this fourth-tier Qiong god, it is obviously extremely difficult. The massive shoki beneath trembled, began to feel restless. Ding Chuan was wearing it on him. That massive metal giant sword. In an instant, it turned into liquid. Rumbling. Rolling stones surge. Dust rises. Suddenly, silent eyes filled with blood vessels. With a fierce shout, Shenxi contended loudly. In my mind, unexplainably, a connection was established with this shoki deity. the god of longevity beneath your feet. In an instant, it transformed into countless purple mist, integrated into his left hand. Qiong Qi carried the unbearable silence, leaping onto the ruins, continuously licking his cheek with her tongue, not sure how long has passed. Silence slowly opened its eyes. When I saw the emptiness all around, and that one has already died, when the Shaoxi god was left with only half of his body, murmured in confusion, I succeeded. Silence feels somewhat incredible. He pulled back his sleeves. On the left arm, suddenly a fierce debate arose. Like a symbol-like tattoo, the silent eye suddenly brightened. Master, the master recalled that extremely weak voice. Shaoxi Shen, silent joy, released it. Rumbling sound, a massive creature, appeared in this deep pit. On him, there is a huge wound that resembles a deep chasm. Qiong Qi let out a low growl. That head of Shoki. The deep bass continues to respond. Just, his IQ is slightly higher than the previous one, but it isn't that high either. Silence asked him many questions. Everyone has a limited understanding, can only understand the most basic commands. Shaoxi Shen shifted his massive body, turned over. Countless fragments of stone and dust fell abruptly. He is using that face that only has one mouth, staring straight at the silence. The colossal creature before me, a voice full of longing, made a request. I want to eat. Seeing the silence, furrowed his brows. He wants to eat the other side of the sukiyaki god. No way. Silence abruptly halted. Previously, I had already eaten most of my spoils. The corpse of the sukiyaki god. It is still very useful for me. We can't let him eat it. Pain, silently looking at the wounds on Shaoxi Shen, pierced directly through a couple of veins by the giant metal sword. Until now, still continuously oozing a large amount of green blood. Silent eyes glimmer. Open your mouth. There are still quite a few first-level zombie corpses around here. You ate them all. Before recovering from the injury, that side is when the challenge comes forward. Over 1,000 zombies died here. It should be enough by now. Shaoxi Shen kept repeating the word pain for a long time. Silence repeated several times, but he still couldn't understand. Until the poor Kai beside. A zombie was brought in from somewhere. A low growl. Then, eat the zombie in front of him. Shu Zishan finally understood the meaning, dragging his fat, bulky body, crawling forward, make a huge noise. Silence let him be. Now the headache has just started. This is just a shoki, incorporated into the Tianquan supernatural abilities. It brought a significant burden to one's spirit. If we could capture Qiong Qi again, I'm afraid my head might explode from the pain. Second-order Tianquan superpower. In the end, it was a bit too forced. Silently glanced at the Qiong Qi beside him. Fortunately, Qiong Qi is very easy to communicate with. Having him makes traveling easier, as long as we don't bring in Qiong Qi and Shaoxi Shen. At the same time, integrate into the Tianquan ability. It's no big deal, but this matter. It also made Silence understand Tianquan abilities, not just able to tame one. Even deities of the apocalypse like Shaoxi Shen, all can be subdued. Silence took out a few first-tier gold boxes, threw a few over to Qiong Qi. Well done. Then he began to absorb, regained stamina. Looking at this mess, the ruins filled with the smell of gunpowder. Silent eyes flicker. We arrived in front of the corpse of the Shaoxi god, the remaining half segment. Still the enormous behemoth, and is continuously happening in the distance, digging through the ruins with both hands. A large net scooped up dozens of zombies. This half-head, I don't know if it can be triggered. The appearance of the mysterious merchant. As far as I remember, mysterious merchant. It could happen anywhere. And there. It won't stay for long at all. Maybe an hour later, then it disappeared without a trace. If you actively want to find him, no different from climbing to the sky. But there is still one way. Let the mysterious merchant come to you. The mysterious merchant comes and goes without a trace. When there is a corpse of a deity, or perhaps after the treasure appeared, he will have a great chance, appearing in this place, and actively request to exchange goods with you. No one knows. How did he do it? Silently, take a deep breath. I found a place to sit quietly and wait. I don't know if a half-body will do. I hope the mysterious merchant can come, in the treasure of the mysterious merchant, with countless treasures. Everything you want. He can satisfy all your needs. Before rebirth, although I am a 6th-tier ability user, but have never seen the mysterious merchant's face. It's just hearsay. Silent gaze looks into the distance, looking at the gradually darkening deep red sky. Not sure what I'm thinking about. At this moment, in this wasteland, a cool breeze, blown away, behind you. Suddenly, I remembered a rustling sound of footsteps. Ba ba ba. Under this deep red sky, a short-statured person, a figure in a black robe less than 1 meter tall, stepping on this ruin. Step by step it has come, the impoverished Qiong Qi beside me. Keenly noticed the movement behind me. He suddenly turned around. Every hair on my body stood on end, continuously growling. A moment of silence as I closed my eyes to rest. He turned around to look behind him. When I saw that short figure, the figure in the black robe whose face is not clearly visible, the pupils suddenly constricted. Some things are unbelievable. Mysterious merchant. They actually came. Silence, unaware of the feelings at this moment. Before rebirth, how many people expend their whole lives' efforts? I want to find him. You might be able to see the mysterious merchant, except for some high-ranking officials in the military district. Only a very few peak extraordinary abilities. The man in the black robe seemed like a ghost, strolling through this wasteland. He slowly approached the silent figure, just standing there. Didn't say anything. Long time no see. A somewhat surprised hoarse voice sounded. It's you. Kill the beast god. Silently nodded with a calm expression. It's me. The mysterious merchant paused. It seems to be scrutinizing the silence in front. And then he said slowly, I want to switch with you. That corpse. Exchange right. In the early days of the apocalypse, many ability users, no one knows the origins of the mysterious merchant when choosing to refuse the exchange. The mysterious merchant before me. Then I will disappear between the invitations. Silence spoke without hesitation. Exchange. The mysterious merchant said simply and clearly, What do you want? After a moment of silence and contemplation, tentatively said, I want a boundary gold box, and a sword that can slay gods. Continuing, boundary golden box. It is possible to be another kind of ability user, break through the limit of abilities, and things that enhance supernatural abilities. As soon as these words were spoken, the mysterious merchant trembled all over. He hasn't spoken yet. This person then knew. Boundary golden box. Where did you learn about the boundary golden box? The mysterious merchant asked. Silence. Is this an exchange? The mysterious merchant shook his head. Look at the corpse of the baptized deity. Open your mouth. Not enough. He was left with only half of his body. The silent gaze narrowed slightly. Which one is not enough? Boundary golden box. It is still a god-slaying blade. Which one is not enough? The mysterious merchant said. Since you know about the boundary golden box, then one should understand its value. Boundary golden box, able to enhance abilities beyond the same level. Its existence, it is no different from allowing the ability users. A section suddenly appeared out of nowhere. The silent eyes shimmer. It was originally a flawed and incomplete body of the baptized divine. It didn't have high expectations either. Mysterious merchant, your supernatural ability, very powerful. We don't need this thing. If we add that complete head as well, I can give you a Class C boundary gold box. Silently refused. Still say, your conditions. The mysterious merchant nodded. He made no movements, but in the space beside him, it unexpectedly stirred a ripple. A pitch-black sword suddenly emerged from it. The extremely sharp katana. This long sword is deep black in color. The blade flows smoothly and is sharp. A bloodline extends from head to tail. The blade is stained with mottled blood that has existed for an unknown duration. The knife handle is wrapped in a cloth bag. A piece of white cloth floated. It appears to be filled with blood and a sinister aura. Geiki, able to absorb a small amount of blood energy to restore stamina. The metal among them, it is the hardest thing in the world. Your dominion ability can also be controlled, sufficient for you to use now. The mysterious merchant is devoid of any emotions. The voice was hoarse and indifferent. Silence illuminated the katana before me. The eyes kept sparkling. The mysterious merchant has always been fair. It has always been about equal value, or perhaps an exchange that goes a bit beyond. I have never heard of anyone being scammed. Not only can Tanquin's extraordinary abilities be controlled, can still absorb blood energy, recovering stamina. Silence stirred slightly. After weighing it back and forth, he finally spoke up. Change. The mysterious merchant nodded. The great sword, Oni Kiri, suddenly floated in front of him in silence. The activation of the ability of the Dominator, the ghostly blade in front of me. In an instant, it turned into a pool of deep black molten iron. Under the control of silence, restoration. The silent gaze brightened. Indeed, I want to exchange some items. Silent path, mysterious merchant. But silence. F is the restoration potion. Mysterious merchant. 5 first-tier gold boxes. Exchange for another bottle. Silently nodding. Take the remaining first-level golden box. They all exchanged it for recovery potions. A total of 20 bottles were exchanged. This is all thanks to the Lion King. Summon thousands of zombies to come. During the recent free time, Self and Qiong Qi just go collect. Then they obtained over 100 first-tier golden boxes. Even the second-tier golden box. There are dozens of them. Of course, a large part of it. All were eaten by the Sukiyaki god. Used for recovery. Absorption of the golden box. Every day has its limits. F restoration potion. Not only can it cure zombie infections, can quickly restore physical strength before rebirth. Many amazing potions in the military district, all based on a mysterious merchant. The items exchanged, the simplified version developed. After exchanging everything, the figure of the mysterious merchant, gradually disappearing on the spot. Even when he was leaving, I don't quite understand. Why is the person in front of me? You actually know so much. Silently watching the mysterious merchant, the disappearing figure, suddenly spoke up. I am BNTH God of Slaughter. The mysterious merchant did not speak. In the final moment before disappearing, he said leisurely, if we meet again next time, I will tell you. As soon as the words fell, mysterious merchant, it was like a breath of fresh air, vanished without a trace. On the other side, not far away, that side is left with only half of its body. Colossal creature, the body of the baptized god, yet it also disappeared without a trace, as if it had never appeared here, left no traces behind. A silent laugh escaped. The eyes burned with intensity. We will meet again next time. After the mysterious merchant left, Chen Mo directly took out a small bottle. Slim recovery potion. Swallowed it down. Full body strength. A sudden surge of replenishment. Before that with those two. The strength of the battle waged by the baptized. At this moment, full recovery was achieved. The results are remarkable. Silent eyes shine bright, looking at the ghostly blade in my hand. Unimaginable. Can one truly be alone? Slay that baptized god. Reborn after death. Moreover, it subdued Qiong Qi. the two great powers of the baptized god. This strange feeling, as if separated by a lifetime. Silence tightly grips the ghost blade. With all my strength, I strike forward. The massive rock wall in front of me, unexpectedly under the ghost's knife, as if made of paper, easily unfolded into two halves. The sharpness and material quality, completely not of this world. Any metal that can be reached. If only I could face that baptized god once more. Only the ghostly self, easily and directly penetrate through its massive flesh and blood form, instead of like those, as lethal as a sniper bullet, directly embedded in its flesh. Put away the ghost blade. The silence in his eyes was unwaveringly firm. Is it difficult to say? Next, it's time to give North China a try. Wait for me, behind the spiritual scripture, the sixth war zone we rely on. If they don't know what's good for them. A wisp of sand flashed by, silently gazed across, continuously digging through the ruins, searching for zombie corpses. The baptized god of restoring strength. No one spoke. A four-segmented baptized deity. In the early days of this apocalypse, for any survivor faction, it will all be a devastating disaster. Military district. Neither is it an exception. At that moment, the direction where the baptismal deity is located in the distance. Suddenly, the sound of ferocious gunfire erupted. Bum bum. The statue seemed to be stimulated. A long silver light was emitted. The silence changed his expression slightly, looking back at the past. In the distance, I saw members of hundreds of lions. Not sure when I arrived here. They were all fully armed, holding a firearm. Silence frowned slightly. The man of the lion. How did they come? At this moment, the lion is a proud creature. Their expressions were as if they had seen a ghost. Looking up at this astonishing giant, tingling on the scalp. Many people's legs couldn't stop trembling. Gritting one's teeth. Damn it. Monster. Go die. What on earth is this thing? Bump, bump, bump. The dense sound of gunfire, like raindrops, striking the massive body of the baptized deity, compared to the slaughter of the two baptized gods before the silence. These hundreds of male lion members, an onslaught as intense as a storm, the bullets of these rifles. Not even a single fraction of the flesh of the baptized deity can be penetrated. Everyone's pupils dilated. The gaze was terrifying. This attack, instead, it stimulated the baptized deity, made him scream for a moment. The hundreds of fierce lion members present. One's head is pounding painfully, covering their ears as if in excruciating pain. Some even had blood flowing from their mouths and noses. Fainted on the spot. They brother, why don't we withdraw? This monster can't be killed at all. Jiang Dong beside me shouted in fear. As soon as he called out, several brothers fell directly. Fart in, as long as it's alive. There's no one who isn't afraid of bullets. At the front, Luo Tianxiang spoke from behind the scenes. Everyone hit me hard. Go find Chen Liadi for me. Alive. You must see the person. Dead. You must see the body. Cannot find it. Then let's not go back at all. Even though he has seen such an attack after so long, unable to penetrate the opponent's defense. Also utterly desperate, encountering this monster, Chen Liadi. It can't be that something really happened, right? Yuo Changsheng's expression was extremely grim. He does not doubt the power of silence. But the monster in front of me, it's just too terrifying. Like a nightmare. Yuo Changsheng looked around, constantly searching for the silent figure. That monster. It's time to take action. Jiang Dong's voice trembled with fear. Before me stood this massive creature, surprisingly waved his incredibly fat arm. Throw it at the crowd. If this strike lands, I'm afraid that most of the lion members present, they're all going to be turned into meat patties. The members of the Qiong Qi roared wildly. Fire the gun and shoot. Yuo Tianxian's eyes widened even more. Angry and wide-eyed, he would never allow so many of his brothers to die here. Yuo Tianxian, get the hell out of my way. Hundredfold increase. Yuo Tianxian with a level's supernatural abilities. In this apocalyptic world, strength is not to be underestimated. Yuo Tianxian's body swelled up. A tall and robust figure has already reached a height of 2 meters. A massive stone was lifted from beside me. Then he threw it towards the baptized god. Rumbling sound, but that giant stone stood before the enormous hand of the divine. It is like using an egg to strike a stone. In an instant, it was shattered into pieces, just as that enormous hand was about to come down. Suddenly, to the right of this mountain of flesh, unexpectedly paused in mid-air, transformed into tiny rays of light and vanished. The members of the bear lion group looked frenzied, stood there in a daze. One by one, their expressions were confused, full of confusion. But what about that monster? Why did they suddenly disappear? Last second, that colossal creature towering 30 meters high. In the next second, suddenly disappeared. This bizarre scene, even Yuo Tianxian couldn't help but be dumbfounded. Only the deep pits and bullet casings left behind in this place, announcing the recent presence of a massive creature. Jiang Dong rubbed his eyes. It seems like I'm doubting whether I saw it wrong. Cautiously approached. Whispered, Boss, what's going on here? Yes. What about that monster just now? Why did you suddenly disappear? Many members of the Bear Lion team are also wide-eyed and staring. You slapped me. Let's see if I'm already dead. Asterisk sound of a slap asterisk. You really do smoke, don't you? This feeling of surviving a disaster. Everyone in the Bear Lion tribe felt extremely fortunate. Yuo Tianxian took a deep breath, looked around at the empty surroundings. Can't afford to think too much. He said in a low voice, Let's not worry about that for now. The monster still doesn't know when it will appear again. Hurry up. Everyone go look for Brother Silence here. Yuo Tianxian shouted at the group of Bear Lion members beside him. No need to search anymore. I have arrived. At this moment, a faint voice echoed from afar. In the distance, Silent and Qiong Qi slowly approached. Silence does not wish for the Bear Lion to know, possessing the ability to subdue even the gods themselves, because this incident is truly shocking to the world. If word gets out, in the future, there will be endless troubles. When the visitor arrived, it was after the silence. Yuo Tianxian was overjoyed beyond expectation. The members of the Bear Lion group also came forward to say, Chen Leadi, Chen Ji. Silence nodded slightly. He looked at Yuo Tianxian and said, What are you here for? Yuo Tianxian looked around wearily. It seems like they are afraid that the beast will reappear. He said in a low voice, Chen Leadi, Quiglid, come with us. This beast may not just be one. We were just fighting against a beast in a divine battle. I don't know how it happened. Then the beast washed the god and suddenly vanished. Yuo Tianxian actually brought the Bear Lion to save himself. Silence was slightly surprised. Spoke calmly. No need. The beast-washing god has already been dealt with by me. There is only one head here. Beside me, Jiang Dong enchanted a charm. That's not right. Lai Yunfeng said he met another one. How could it be? And also Brother Chen. Just now, hundreds of our brothers were fighting that beast in a divine battle. What is that over there? Jiang Dong had many doubts in his heart. At that moment, Yuo Tianxian's eyes sparkled. Chen shouted, All right, Jiang Dong, since Brother Chen has already said that the beast has been dealt with, then it must have been resolved. Why ask so many questions? Yuo Tianxian let out a hearty laugh. He stepped forward heavily and patted the silent shoulder. He declared boldly, Since Brother Chen is safe and sound, so this matter is understood now. Later, this day, a vow of eternity. It will be a great battle. This is the kingdom of my line. The beast washed away the divine presence and vanished. Chen Liadi then appeared. He could almost be certain. This matter is related to Brother Chen. But Luo Tianxin is not a fool. Everyone has their own secrets. If we dig deeper, I'm just afraid it will lead to uncomfortable silence. Silence knows as well. Luo Tianxin is probably suspecting something. Luo Tianxin is a wise man, dealing with smart people. It's just comfortable. Chen Mo smiled faintly in silence. Don't worry. The beast washing god will no longer appear. By the way, in the Tianhai indoor area, there is also a special type of zombie that exists. You all need to pay attention. The Lioness Queen. Silence simply summarized it. Luo Tianxin nodded. Thank you. I understand. Thank you for the reminder. Chen Liadi, are you ready to head to Huibai City now? Silence. Leaving the highway. Luo Tianxin, I have done what I promised you. Take good care of Kiki. Tell her to behave here. Brother will come to pick her up later. Luo Tianxin nodded repeatedly. The expression was solemn, a bit reluctant. Chen Liadi, safe travels. Farewell, Brother Chen, may you have a smooth journey. Silence said little. Riding on Kiki. Sitting down, Kiki let out a low growl. Leaped up. The toes nimbly stepped on the rubble. Disappeared from this place, damn it. The tiger that Chen Ji raises. You can still ride it. This is so damn. Not much better than the car. In the apocalypse, the car couldn't drive very far. Almost every few steps will be obstructed by the ruins. Members of the lion clan, watching the elegant figure leave in silence. One by one, they couldn't help but show expressions of envy. If I could have strength like Chen Ji, how wonderful it would be. You can't just go wherever you want. Where do you think the baptized deity went before? Chen Ji said it has been resolved. Will it really never appear again? Jiang Dong said with lingering fear. Luo Tianxin raised his hand and said, It's not your place to ask. Just don't ask too much. No one should mention this matter again. He didn't know what means silence used. Let that baptized deity disappear. But to achieve something so incredible, Tao Luo Tianxin only believes in silence. Let's show some pride, lions. Look at all of you. Just now. I almost peed my pants just now. After returning, everyone double the training for me. Whoever can awaken a capability. From now on, you will be my trusted confidant. Luo Tianxin. Let's go. Qiong Qi. That direction. At this moment, the Qiong Qi, rushing towards the highway entrance of Tianhai City. Wherever they go, sure enough, just as I had guessed, the zombies of today. At least they have all advanced to the first level. Silence uses the Dominion ability. The pitch-black ghostly blade, like the side of death, easily slice through the surrounding zombies. Pachai pachai, when the ghostly blade severed the zombie's head, incredible as it is, on the edge of the blade. A faint wisp of dark mist began to spread. Your own physical strength, it's actually recovering. The silent gaze suddenly brightened. It is said that the weapons exchanged at the mysterious merchant are unbelievable, possessing extraordinary powers that do not belong to this world. Didn't expect that. It really is like this. Silence carries a hint of joy, although Gigi recovers only a little stamina each time. But after continuously slaying zombies, the accumulation of this little bit of physical recovery, it is also quite formidable. The golden boxes inside these zombies' heads, all were cut open and taken out. Silence held what Luo Tianxin had given, mapped to Huibai City. Riding on a poor steed, I arrived at this place. Tianhai City highway entrance, the highway of the past. It collapsed directly with a loud crash, piled up into an insurmountable ruin, isolating the other half of the highway. A dense crowd of wandering, low-growling zombies. In the endless ruins before me, Qiong Qi leaped to the top of the high, raised gravel pile, gently landing on top. silently lowered his head, a dense mass in front of me. Looking around, there are at least several hundred heads. Abandoned vehicles are lined up here, have all suffered significant trauma to varying degrees. There are still many zombies. I heard the movement of silence here, continuously advancing towards this wasteland, trying to break apart the huge pile of rubble at my feet. There are many zombies on the highway. It's simply beyond imagination. Early days of the apocalypse. A large number of survivors tried to escape by car.